Okay, we are going to continue with the second module, that is fire prevention and fire fighting. Okay, fire prevention and firefighting. So we had the last PDF that we were watching yesterday. So we have different concepts from the fire on how fire originates. Okay, what's the main purpose of firefighting? Is to avoid that the fire is going to spread. All right. All right. So as for the introduction, what is fire? Fire is the rapid oxidation of a material in the exothermic chemical process of combustion, releasing heat, light, and various reaction products. The flame is a visible portion. The flame is a visible portion of the fire. If hot enough, the gases may become ionized to produce plasma. Depending on the substances allied and any impurities outside, the color of the flame and the fire's intensity will be different. Fire needs three elements to ignite. These are the three elements: oxygen, heat, and fuel, as we were watching yesterday. So we have what we call the fire triangle. And this is based on three elements that are needed for the fire to continue. So let's take a look at the video here. Let me check the sound. So yeah, sound recording is on. The fire triangle.
Is declared by the Bureau of Fire Protection as Fire Prevention Month. Let's talk about fire. In this, let's talk about what makes a fire and what we can do to prevent one. Fire can be compared to a triangle, and three ingredients are necessary to cause a fire. These are heat, air, and fuel. If any one of these three sides is missing, there can be no fire. 1. Heat. The first side of the fire triangle can come from many sources. It can be generated by sparks from welding operations, discarded cigarette butts, electrical shorts, frayed wiring, friction from power tools, and hot exhaust pipes. 2. Fuel. The second side of the fire triangle may be liquid, such as gasoline or solvents, a solid, such as paper or wood scraps, or a gas, such as propane. 3. Air. The third side of the fire triangle contains oxygen, which is necessary to sustain a fire. This is one side of the triangle we can't do much about. Air is usually present anywhere. Heat, fuel, and air must be in the proper proportion for fire to occur. It is possible to have these three ingredients without causing a fire. For example, there may not be enough heat or air to ignite the fuel and cause it to burn. Now let's talk about eliminating the triangle. Let's talk about what we can do to prevent the fire triangle from forming. Remember that if you remove any one of the three ingredients, you will prevent or extinguish the fire. We can help prevent fires by doing the following. 1. Maintaining a neat and clean work area, thus preventing an accumulation of rubbish. 2. Putting oily or paint-soaked rags in covered metal containers. 3. Observing all "no smoking" signs. 4. Keeping all combustible materials away from furnaces or other sources of ignition. 5. Reporting any fire hazards we personally cannot eliminate. This includes electrical hazards, which are the source of many fires. 6. Arranging cold weather heating devices so that tarps won't blow into them. Now let's talk about when you know the angles. When you know the angles, it's fire triangle, heat, air, and fuel. When you find these three ingredients present, take heed. A fire could be in the making. Be aware. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bible verse 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 13. Their work will be shown for what it is, because the day will bring it to.
All right, so that's for the first part of the fire triangle. Okay, el triángulo del fuego. que son al final los elementos que necesita un fuego, ¿ok? Para mantenerse encendido. So the fire alight is going to include oxygen, heat, and fuel. Oxygen, heat, and fuel. Okay, so let's take some of these sentences to read. So are you ready, Danilo, for reading? Can we read that? I think this.
Oxygen. When oxygen in the air combines with flammable vapors given off by fuels, uh, they create a form of heat at molecular level. Then as sources of ignition, a match or spark, say, can cause it to combust. Without enough oxygen ignition cannot happen.
Okay, very good. So when oxygen, that's going to be the pronunciation, oxygen in the air combines with flammable vapors given off by fuels, they create a form of heat at a molecular level. Then a source of ignition, a match, okay, like a match for the stove, or a spark, say, can cause it to combust. Without enough oxygen, ignition cannot happen. In the opposite way, if there is too much oxygen, then the vapors won't be concentrated enough to ignite. The ratio of vapor to oxygen is known as the explosive or flammable limit and is different for each gas or vapor. Okay, so as for the oxygen and as for the video, we really can't do much about oxygen in a ship because you are going to have oxygen within the ship, okay? The problem is that you cannot take oxygen out. There are some places and some facilities where you can take oxygen out by entering CO2 into the system. Así que en muchos lugares, por ejemplo, en las grandes compañías de computadoras, donde solo hay computadoras y se le llaman data centers, como los de Facebook, por ejemplo, ahí si hay un incendio, pueden llenar la sala de las computadoras con dióxido de carbono, así rápido. Y de ahí entonces ya no va a haber oxígeno. Pero obviamente eso solo se puede hacer donde no hay personas. Llenar de óxido de carbono todo. Pero donde hay personas, si no puedo hacer eso porque podría tener el riesgo de sofocarlas. ¿Ok? All right, don't worry. Don't worry, Tito, welcome. So as for this part is one of the you know, the toughest parts to remove from the triangle. Así que el oxígeno es una de las partes más complicaditas de remover del triángulo. All right. The ratio of vapor to oxygen is known as the explosive or flammable limit, and it is different for each gas or vapor. As for heat, okay, combustion occurs, combustion, that's the combustion, and let's have some reading. If you can help me, Danilo, please.
Combustion occurs when flammable vapors mix with air oxygen and are ignited by spark or flame. Solids give off flammable vapors by being heated. Certain solids, such as paper or floor paper, to ignite almost instantly. This is because these give off vapors and reach a flammable temperature almost immediately.
Okay, pretty good. So combustion occurs. As for heat, combustion occurs when flammable vapors mix with air. or oxygen and are ignited by a spark or flame. Solids give off flammable vapors by being heated. Certain solids, such as paper or flour, appear to ignite almost instantly. Paper or flour. Flour, harina, flour. This is because they give off vapors and reach a flammable temperature almost immediately. So paper, as for paper, paper is going to ignite really easily because it's going to give off. Give off es una frase para decir emitir. Give off. Give off. This is because they give off vapors. Give off. Okay, so that's a compound word. Solids give off flammable vapors by being heated. Así que los sólidos, los materiales sólidos van a empezar a emitir esos vapores inflamables, ¿okay? Por el material con el que están construidos. In fact, fine dusts, ¿verdad? Los polvos finos que estén dispersed in the air can explode because they give off vapors and ignite so quickly it appears to happen instantly. Other solids like timber take longer to ignite because they are more dense and so don't give off flammable vapor so easily. Timber es otra frase para madera. Okay? Timber es otra frase para madera. Ok. Liquids, dice que también las partículas de polvo pueden pues iniciar también ese proceso de emitir vapores inflamables, ¿ok? Casi instantáneamente. Fine dust dispersed in the air. As for liquids, take a look at the liquids. We also have this category. Liquids are a bit different. Liquids are a bit different, okay? They are a lot more runny for a start. Como son líquidos, es más difícil que tengan ignición, okay? For the liquids, but, okay? They are more, but where solids need to be heated to give off flammable vapors, some liquids give off vapors even in cold water, okay? So important thing, los líquidos, dice que aunque primero sea muy difícil porque están en un estado muy difícil de iniciar a calentarlos, no dependen también de la temperatura y pueden mantenerse en ambientes de frío, ¿verdad? Cold weather. ¿Qué es lo que pasa? Por ejemplo, las fugas, ¿verdad? Del petróleo en el océano, en donde aunque yo estoy teniendo un ambiente como el agua, ¿sí? Estoy manteniendo ese líquido. Así que es complicado porque ahí ese líquido está manteniendo el incendio. All right. And fuel. Fuel can take almost any form, solids like wood, fabric, rubber, and plastic. Okay, so let's continue with you, Danilo. Please, can you read the selected text?
Liquids such as petrol, oil, cooking oil, or even nail varnish remover rates and with different intensities.
Okay, so liquids such as petrol, oil, cooking oil, like in a kitchen, right? Or even nail varnish remover, como la acetona, miren. Gases like propane, esa es la pronunciación del gas propano, propane, butane, butane, and natural gas, okay? Different fuels burn at different rates. and with different intensities. Intensities, casi como está, intensities. Okay. Solo quito esta E para ya no decirla, intensities, intensities, intensidades. Así que hay diferentes combustibles, okay, que van a estar siendo relacionados a diferentes tasas, a cómo se queman y su intensidad, su intensidad. Okay, the above mentioned elements create the fire triangle. Triangle, esa es la pronunciación de triángulo. Triangle, triangle. Fire triangle in reality is a simple model. For understanding the necessary ingredients for most fires. So here we have the fire triangle. Okay, oxygen or air. Okay, fuel. Esa U sale así larguita también. Fuel. And heat. So remove one of them, and the fire is going to be extinguished. That's the main idea for that. And that's the main idea for prevention. Of how to, how to identify what is happening, and also to understand that you need one of them out. I will say heat or fuel. Okay. So let's continue. So the fire triangle theory has been accepted for many years. Today, this theory is modified to explain combustion or fire as a four-side figure called a tetrahedron. I'm going to check the pronunciation for this.
Tetrahedron.
Tetrahedron. Tiene que curiosa la palabra. Tetrahedron. Tetrahedron resembles a pyramid. I'm going to check also this pronunciation.
Pyramid.
Pyramid, not pyramid. Pyramid, not to be confused for pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics.
Okay, pyrotechnics, pyramid. A tetrahedron resembles a pyramid and offers a new element. Okay, a new element when considering combustion. All right, so we are leaving that three-side triangle.
Tetrahedron.
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 A pretty difficult word. A tetrahedron resembles a pyramid and offers a new element when considering combustion. The base of the pyramid represents the chemical chain reaction that occurs when the three other elements, heat, fuel, and oxygen, I se recuerdan de esta pronunciación, oxygen, are present in appropriate proportions. Vapors, gases are released during the burning process and are carried into the flame. The heat from the flames drives the chemical reaction. Heat, fuel, and oxygen are the three standing sides of the figure, and all four elements must be present in order to support combustion. Okay, so now we have a different shape for this tetrahedron, a tetrahedron that is going to represent the combustion process, the chemical chain reaction. Fire, tetrahedron. So that's a chemical chain reaction. Well, pretty implicit, but that's the thing. Okay, classification of fires. We have a classification of fires. So let's watch a video first, and then we go over some of these because the images are not too good.
For watching Funny Hitters Info. Today I am come up with the topic classification of fires A, B, C, D and E. For selecting suitable firefighting media, burning fires are divided into 5 different classes like A, B, C, D and E. A class fires. Fuels which are solid in state, on burning they leave carbon as residue. Example for A class fires: wood, paper, cloth, cotton, charcoal, etc. B class fire: flammable materials which are in liquid state. Examples: petrol, diesel, paint, spirit, etc. C class fires: fuels which are in gaseous state. Examples: LPG, acetylene, methane, butane, etc. D class fires: metal which can burn, sodium, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, etc. Class A: electrical appliances or machinery, transformers, generators and panel boards, etc. are the examples of Class A fires. In the latest classification of fuel, Class E removed, as electricity is not a fuel and it is only a source of heat. Let me summarize this classification of fires. Fires are classified according to the type of fuel. Class A, ordinary combustibles. Class B, flammables and combustible liquids. Class C, flammable gases. Class D, combustible metals. Class E, electrically energized.
All right, very good. Very good video. Summary of the fires are classified according to the type of fuel. Class A, ordinary combustibles. Ordinary combustibles. Class B, flammable and combustible liquids. Liquids. Class C, flammable gases. Class D, combustible metals. Metals. Class E, electrically energized equipment. Electrically energized equipment. Okay, so Danilo, please, can you read the different fires?
Class A, ordinary combustibles. Class B, flammable and combustible liquids. Class C, flammable gases. Class D, combustible metals. Class E, electrically energized equipment.
Okay, energize. Okay, so those are the type of fires, and we also have different ways to battle those fires. Okay. All right, nice.
Good morning, Miri.
Good morning. How are you?
I am so good.
All right, pretty good.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Okay, so we are on the second part of this theory course okay, for the basic safety training. And this is for all this matter of fires, or have to react to that. I can only speak for the theory, right? I'm not certified and not like an instructor for this, just to know some of the vocabulary, okay, and how we can also prevent those fires and how can we battle. When you are going to be trained, okay, when you're going to be trained, certified personnel is going to give you all the practice for this, and also theory and good tips also, I will say, for battling fire. Okay, so we have here all the different type of fires in this small chart. I'm going to send this to you in the WhatsApp group. Study material. And we already saw the types of fires, okay? The types of fires, and let's take a look at the type of extinguishers. Extinguishers. Los extinguidores es que fire extinguishers también son los extinguidores de así, ya los accesorios, ¿verdad? Substances. Vamos a ver si con substances lo encuentro. Okay, yeah, I have this here, and also in the chart. Well, we don't have the letters here, but let's take a look at this. Four types of fire extinguishers and using methods.
Hello guys, welcome to the Security Guard training. This course is brought by www.securityguardexam.com. Today's topic is fire extinguisher. Categories of the firefighting equipment. There are the two types of firefighting equipments, one portable, the another is fixed. Example of portable equipment: fire extinguisher, fire blanket, fire bucket, sand, powder or liquid. The fire bucket can contain sand, can contain powder or the liquid. Example of fixed equipment: sprinkler system, hose drill, hydrant.
Okay, this is the sprinkler this system, okay? That is it's going to be typically placed on hotels and factories, offices, and so, okay? Sprinkler system, hose reels, okay? Las mangueras para combatir el incendio, and the hydrants. Or in case of the boat, is going to be the water pumps. Okay, the pumps.
Hose drill, hydrant. Types of fire extinguisher.
Okay, we have this similar to this: water, foam, dry powder, CO2, and wet chemical. I think we don't have wet chemical here.
There are the four types of fire extinguisher: 1 water, 2 foam, 3 CO2, 4 DCP. Use of fire extinguisher on the type of fire. Water extinguisher can use for class A fire. Foam type of extinguisher can use class A and B fire. CO2 can use B, C, E fire. DCP can use for all type of fire, A, B, C, D, and E. If you don't know the classification of the fire, so I request you to watch my first video, because there I have described all the categories of the fire or the classification of the fire. Okay. Safety instruction. Okay, when you are handling the fire extinguisher, you should take your own safety. Here are the some instruction that can helpful for you. Don't use the water extinguisher on the flammable liquid fire. The fire can spread. When using the foam to fight a fat and oil fire, aim to the side and allow the foam to spread over the base of the fire. CO2 is a compressed gas and will blow solid fuel around, spreading the fire. Never use the fire extinguisher on the person.
Well, I think that's important, but I have seen that maybe in a person, the fire extinguisher on a person. I don't know about you, but like in the Formula One, I don't remember, but I think I have seen the fire extinguisher on a person. Okay, so safety instructions, typical and ideal instructions. Don't use a water extinguisher on a flammable liquid fire. The fire can spread. When using foam to fight fat or oil fires, aim to the side and allow the foam to spread over the base of the fire. Okay, over the base of the fire. So you're going to aim to the side and allow the foam to spread over the base of the fire. CO2. CO2 is a compressed gas and will blow solid fuels around, spreading the fire. I never use a fire extinguisher on a person.
Key information. Extinguisher control of fire by smothering and cooling the fire. All fire extinguishers have a pressure gauge except for CO2. The content of the fire extinguisher are known as a agent.
Okay, so key information. Extinguishers control a fire by smothering or cooling the fire. What we want in typical situation is to cool down. Lo que queremos hacer normalmente es queremos que baje de temperatura. Okay, because losing heat, for the fire to lose heat is removing one of the key elements from the triangle and to start putting out the fire. All extinguishers have a pressure gauge, sorry. All extinguishers have a pressure gauge, except for CO2. Todos los extinguidores tienen una válvula de presión, excepto por los del dióxido de carbono. And the contents of a fire extinguisher are known as the agent. The agent. ¿Qué es lo que tiene dentro, verdad? Agent. All right.
How to inspect a fire extinguisher? Visible damage to the cylinder or valve. Last technical inspection and next due date. Correct pressure reading on the gauge. Agent level clearly marked and facing out. Any issue with the fire extinguisher should be reported. Okay, these are the...
Okay, let's have you, Tito, please, can you read the...
Visible damage to the cylinder or valve. Last technician inspection and next due date. Correct pressures reading on the gauge. Agent label clearly marked and facing out. Any issue with fire extinguisher should be reported.
All right, pretty good. So this is one of the words that is kind of difficult. This is going to be gauge. Completely different, right? Gauge. Okay. And agent. Ahí sí se usa la A, miren, del agent. Esa sí va dura. Agent. Ok, cylinder valves. Esta también es un poquito complicada. porque no se dice la E. Valves. Valves. Y esos se recuerdan siempre should, 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 would, para cuando es would, ¿verdad? Would, would, should, should, could, could. Ese va a ser el archivo completo para esas tres palabras que se usan y como no tienen idea, esas se usan pero impresionantemente bastante en el inglés. Would, should, could. Would, should, and could. All right.
5 things you should take when you are inspecting the fire extinguisher in your workplace.
Okay. Extinguisher color.
Color: water red, foam cream, CO2 black, DCP blue. Here in the picture you can see their CO2 has a black strap, foam has a cream, and dry powder has a blue, and water has a red. Okay, I'm not talking about the cylinder body, but there is a one symbol, one strap that is marked according to the type of fire extinguisher.
All right, so that's pretty interesting, pretty good information to know. And what type, okay, what type of extinguisher we have also maybe in an office, I don't know. As for me, I haven't checked for Intecap what type they have, but I'm going to check whenever I had the time to visit again at the center. Okay. Water red, water red, foam cream, foam, CO2 black, and DCP blue.
Fire extinguisher. The effective range of fire extinguisher. The water fire extinguisher can effective for 10 to 12 meter, foam type 3 meter effective, CO2 1 to 3 meter effective, DCP or dry powder 2 to 6 meter effective. You should aware of the effectiveness of the fire extinguisher because you can use it as a proper way.
Okay. Danilo, can you read please the effective range? Range.
The effective range of the fire extinguisher. Water and 10 plus 2 mirrors. Foam 3 mirrors. CO2 1 2 3 meters. DCP 2 to 6 meters.
Ok. Sabemos bien que es foam en español.
No, teacher.
Es
No, I don't know.
espuma. Ok. Son los extinguidores por espuma. Ok. Foam. CO2, dióxido de carbono. ¿Verdad? Ese sí va a ser un tipo de gas. And DCP es dry powder. Okay. Vamos a ver otro video ahí de los materiales. Dry powder. Powder es polvo seco, por así decirse. Okay.
As a proper way.
So we are going to have different type of extinguishers for different type of fires, and for water 10 to 12 meters. So that's kind of a good thing for water because it's going to be pressurized. Foam 3 meters. CO2 1 to 3 meters because it's a gas and it's an inert gas. Okay, and DCP 2 to 6 meters. As for the powder, to spray.
Use of the fire extinguisher.
Okay, the basic training, and we are going to take a look at something practical maybe for a video of this procedure of the pass. Okay, P for pool. Este es P, No, pull the safety, no. Pull the safety pin from the lever. Pull the safety pin from the lever. Aim. Pull es jalar, ¿verdad? Jalar el seguro. The safety pin. El pin de seguridad. Aim the nozzle. Aim the nozzle directly to the base of the fire. Okay. Aim es apuntar, miren. Aim. Nozzle, boquilla. Así que apunta la boquilla directamente a la base del fuego. Squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze es apretar. Squeeze. Squeeze and active the trigger. ¿Verdad? Apretar y activar el, en español, trigger, el gatillo. Una forma. Sweep. Sweep. Sweep the nozzle side by side. Sweep es ese movimiento, ¿verdad? Sweep the nozzle side by side. Mueva, ¿verdad? Mueva la boquilla de lado a lado. Sweep, es que sweep también es barrer, pero no sé, vamos a ver en materia de incendio. Vamos a ver si nos ponen algunos subtítulos, algunos sinónimos. Sí, va a ser como ese movimiento, ¿verdad? No tendría haga un barrido, ¿verdad? Haga un barrido con la boquilla de lado a lado. Okay. Sweep, the nozzle, miren esa pronunciación, nozzle, de nuevo la LE, o sea, consonante LE va más hacia la O. Okay. Nozzle. All right, please, Danilo, can you, no sé si fue el que pasó antes o le tocaría a Tito, I'm sorry.
Pull the safety pin from the lever. Aim the nozzle directly to the base of the fire. Squeeze and active the trigger. Sweep to the nozzles side by side.
Okay, so that's the pass procedure. I don't know if they are going to have this. Okay, this is just theory, so let's take a look at a video for that. I have never done it, yo nunca lo he hecho. En Intercap a veces cuando van a cambiar el agente, digamos, de los extinguidores, sí a veces hacen algún tipo de, pues solo de gastarse eso. Lo hicieron en su momento en un centro donde estaba. No estaba yo, la verdad, esa vez, pero es interesante tener esa práctica también. Pull, aim. Okay.
Chances are you will go through your entire working career and never have to use a fire extinguisher. Chances be one in your vehicle. Have you inspected it lately? Close your eyes for a second. Can you point to the nearest fire extinguisher? Where is the second nearest one? No matter where you happen to be, you should always know the location of the nearest extinguisher. Fire extinguishers should be inspected regularly and at least once a month. Even if your company inspects them, you should look them over to make sure they meet 3 requirements. 1. Is the extinguisher charged? The pressure should always be at the recommended level. On extinguishers equipped with a gauge, the needle should be in the green zone, not too high and not too low. 2. Are all extinguishers mounted correctly? The top of an extinguisher should never be mounted higher than 60 inches above the floor surface, and the bottom of an extinguisher should never be closer than 4 inches above the floor. They should never be used as door props or paperweights. They are not coat hangers or tool hooks. 3. Are they unobstructed of a fire extinguisher? In the event of an emergency, we can't waste time trying to find the extinguisher that's hidden by a box or impossible to reach because it's behind a piece of equipment. Most fire standards recommend that a clear and unobstructed path to the extinguisher be maintained at all times, with the access being at least 2 to 3 feet wide. They cannot be hidden behind doors, cabinets, or anything else. There are 2 important things to remember if you ever need to use an extinguisher. First, make sure that you never place yourself in a position where the fire is between you and a safe exit. Keep the fire in front of you and the safe exit at your back. And second, remember the pass system. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. When you need to use the extinguisher, first pull the safety pin from the handle. Then, aim the extinguisher nozzle at the base of the fire. This is the spot where the flames are touching the fuel source. Next, squeeze the handle to activate the extinguisher. And finally, sweep the spray back and forth across the target. Continue until the fire is out. If you are unsure that you can put the fire out, evacuate the area. Thanks for watching and have a safe day.
All right, very good. Tenía buenas cosas ahí que en verdad no sabía. As for the level of the gauge, el nivel, okay. Inspection of the level at green level, not too high, not too low, but the needle must be in the green area. Needle must be in the green area. Also for the height, where the extinguisher is located, the maximum height 60 inches and the minimum 4 inches above the ground, and not to be used like for different things. Okay, and also you have to have a clear path to the extinguisher to not obstruct the path of that. All right, so whenever you are in some place, take a look at the extinguishers. How many extinguishers are there in that facility? ¿Cuántos hay en el lugar a donde vayan, donde trabajan? Allá en Intecap. Sí, a veces hay en los salones. Y a veces allá afuera. Son grandes, son algo grandes. La verdad que son. Estos son más delgadones. Los que he visto en Intecap son un poquito más grandes.
There are 2 cannot be hidden behind doors, cabinets, or anything else.
Y las señales, ¿verdad? Muy de seguridad industrial. But the signal is here, the sign is here, and the extinguisher is here. Okay. And the pass. Okay. Pull. Aim, the nozzle. Okay. What's the other? Aim, squeeze, and sweep. Squeeze, and start squeezing for triggering, the agent to come out, and sweeping the area and the base, at the base of where the fuel is making contact with the fire. Pretty good. So that's pretty good. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. Let's have a look at if we can find a video where they do this. Que la cosa que también no se puede como que hacer siempre porque se gasta la gente, ¿no? Vamos a ver si aquí lo hacen.
Fires kill more than 3,000 people in the United States each year. And if we're going to have to deal with these fires at home, in the office, and you encounter a fire, you have to make a conscious decision. Is it worth me trying to put it out with a fire extinguisher? Should I just back out and have someone in charge of checking these visually on a monthly basis? Every year you'll have them sent away to be checked by the professionals, but the monthly checks are pretty simple. Let's make sure that they're charged. Let's make sure all the parts are in place, that the hose is in good condition, that they're mounted in the right place. It's easy to lose track of one of these things if they get used. Make sure it gets put back, it gets recharged, because you never know when you're going to need to use one. If you happen upon a fire that is small enough for you to actually fight with one of these smaller fire extinguishers, all you have to remember is the acronym PASS. PASS helps us learn how to use this thing safely and not forget it when our mind is being preoccupied by the blaze. P is for pull, and we're going to pull the pin. The pin is here to make sure that this thing doesn't accidentally get discharged. It's really the only thing that's stopping these two levers from coming together and discharging the unit. When we pull the pin, make sure we're not squeezing together. We're just holding on the underside. It should be pretty easy to pull. It should have some sort of a tether on it or maybe a plastic band. Discard both of those things, and that's where we're going to go ahead and grab this nozzle and move on to our next letter. Grab this nozzle, and we're going to aim at the base of the fire, stay a nice safe distance away. And S is for squeeze. When we squeeze this handle, we'll discharge the unit. We're going to sweep at the base of the fire and try to put out the flames from the bottom up.
All right, pretty good video. It doesn't look like too complicated, but you have to do it. You know, you have to be prepared for that, and not only for the, only the theory. You need the practice for that. Okay, give me a second. Ya han lanzado uno de esos extinguidores ustedes.
I did.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Where? When?
Maybe 1 year ago.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Also for
It's
the
very-
Navy
it's
or
very exciting.
a training? Okay. Like many people did the exercise, or just you?
To know what do you do or what do you use in a specific time or specific fire.
And are they heavy? Are they heavy? Son pesados?
No,
No?
maybe 25 liver
Okay, 25 pounds.
pounds.
All
Sorry,
right.
pounds.
Don't worry.
25 pounds.
Okay.
Maybe.
And well, as for the video, it was a foam, right? Foam. A foam type. Ese del video era de espuma, ¿verdad? Foam. Okay.
The same. In my case, it's the same.
Okay. Pretty good. Okay, just let me load something here. All right. Let's take a look at the dry powder fire extinguisher.
Dry powder extinguishers have a blue panel around them. They remove oxygen from a fire by smothering the flames. They're a good all-rounder, so you can use them to extinguish Class A, B and C fires. It can be possible to use them on electrical fires and on Class D fires if you have a specific powder.
Well, this has the two types of things to not get trapped. Okay. Que tiene dos pin de seguridad.
To use the extinguisher, you need to pull off the safety tag to break the seal. Then pull out the pin. Test that it works by pointing it away from the fire and squeeze the handle until the extinguishing agent comes out. Then you need to aim the nozzle at the base of the fire and squeeze the handle. You should use rapid sweeping motions to force the flames to the far edge until all the flames are out. These extinguishers have a range of about 8 meters on average.
It's important that you don't use dry powder extinguishers in confined spaces because you'll risk breathing in the powder.
All right, pretty good. So let's move back to our chart, for getting all the different classes. Now we know what are they made of. Only for the wet chemical, we don't know that. Wet chemical.
Wet chemical extinguishers have a yellow panel, and they're the only extinguisher which can be used on Class F fires. So you'll normally find them in large kitchens or anywhere deep fat fryers are used. They produce a barrier between the oxygen and the fuel, and the water content in the extinguishing agent reduces the heat.
To use the extinguisher, you need to pull off the safety tag to break the seal. Then pull out the pin. And test that the extinguisher works by pointing it away from the fire. Make sure you squeeze the handle until the extinguishing agent comes out. Then you need to aim the lance directly at the fire and sweep the extinguishing agent across the fire using slow circular movements until the flames are extinguished.
Make sure the fat has cooled before you attempt to take further action.
All right, that's the wet chemical agent. Wet chemical agent, CO2. Let's take a look at the CO2. Do they have the CO2 here? No. There are pretty good videos from those persons. Carbon dioxide extinguisher.
Carbon dioxide extinguishers have a black panel around them. They remove oxygen from a fire by smothering the flames, and they can be used on either Class B fires or electrical equipment.
To use the extinguisher, you need to position the discharge horn and then pull off the safety tag to break the seal. Make sure you don't touch the extinguisher horn once you start discharging the extinguisher, even if it's a frost-free horn, because you'll risk getting ice burns. Pull out the pin and test that the extinguisher works by pointing it away from the fire, and squeeze the handle until the extinguishing agent comes out. Then aim the horn at the base of the fire and squeeze the handle as you walk towards the flames. Once the flames are out, step back and keep discharging the extinguisher until you're a safe distance away. These extinguishers have a range of about 1 to 1.5 meters and will last for a minimum of 11 seconds.
Do not use carbon dioxide extinguishers on Class A fires because it can cause a fire to spread. And don't use them in confined spaces because there is a risk of asphyxiation if you inhale too much of the gas.
All right, that's the CO2, carbon dioxide agent. And water. Okay, water is pretty common. Type of fires: combustible materials, flammable, liquids, flammable gases, flammable metals, electrical equipment, and deep fat fryers. Those are for kitchens. Deep fat fryers. Okay. Deep fat fryers. Bad idea to look at this at this moment, right? Mala idea verlo ahorita. Deep fat fryers, cheap pans. Okay, do not use on liquid or electrical fires. Do not use on liquid or electrical fires. Not suited to domestic use. Not suited to domestic use for the foam. Can be used safely up to 1000 volts. Sorry, CO2 safe on both high and low voltage. And use on extremely high temperatures. Use on extremely high temperatures. Okay, so what can you tell me, please, Danilo, about Class A fire? What are we going to use and what we shouldn't use, but mustn't use?
I think use paper.
Okay, so the type of fire is combustible materials. What type of fire extinguishers are we going to use? What type of fire extinguishers are we going to use?
The class A.
Yes, Class A, please.
Okay. I read or I example.
Well, you can read or you can well, whatever you want to do it. Okay. So don't worry, we can move to Tito for now for Class B and we can return to you. Class B, Tito, what are the type of extinguishers that we are going to use here?
I think we use foam. Type distinguish foam.
All right.
Use foam. All right.
Foam, dry powder, and CO2 or carbon dioxide. What are the possible situations for flammable liquids? Example, paint
and
petrol. Petrol. Okay, petrol. That's for the Class B as flammable liquids. Okay. As for C, flammable gases, butane and methane. Butane. And let's take a look at this pronunciation.
Methane.
Methane. Butane, methane. La E va más larga, methane.
Methane.
Methane. Okay. Flammable gases. We can only use one type of extinguisher. What's that, Tito?
Dry powder.
Dry powder. I'm going to put also that pronunciation because it's kind of difficult sometimes.
Powder.
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 Powder. Okay, so as for this type of, of the fires, we have lithium and potassium for that.
Potassium.
Lithium and potassium for these type of fires. Flammable metals, lithium and potassium. Metals, those are metals. These are for flammable gases. Okay, so both of them are going to be similar on how we fight them. Also with dry powder agent or a dry powder extinguisher. Okay, Danilo, are you ready for Class A? For class A, we have water, foam, dry powder, and wet chemical. We cannot use CO2. That's for paper or wood. Okay, I think that's like the easiest one to put out from paper or wood. But if that's not too big, okay. But we can use water. We can use water for that. As for the other ones, we cannot use water, as you see. So that's kind of difficult for some firefighters. Para unos bomberos va a ser un poquito difícil cuando la situación no es de un material que se está incendiando. Okay, that's a flammable gas or a flammable metal. As for computer, for the electrical equipment, what do we need to use, Tito?
For electrical equipment, we use dry powder and CO2.
Okay, dry powder and CO2. So as for the CO2, we have some systems on the data centers, en los centros de datos. Que son, ¿verdad? Edificios completos, grandísimos con computadoras, en donde se tienen este tipo de sistemas a través del dióxido de carbono, of the CO2. Let me have this, keto, fire detection, suppression inside Google Data Center. These are the data centers. Look at this. All the computers are there to ensure that we stay connected. Massive, really massive facilities. Son lugares así increíblemente grandes, complejos, tienen capas de seguridad incluso. Seguridad física y seguridad también en informática.
The heart of an organization beats not in an office, processing vital information for all your accounts, storing all your essential business data. These servers are designed for punishing 24/7 operations, and they demand the most robust fire protection solutions available. The sprinkler systems required by building codes are designed to protect structures and people, not data center equipment. Protecting critical infrastructure such as a data center takes a KITA fire detection and suppression system. KITA systems detect the earliest stages of a fire, then extinguish it in seconds by discharging a clean suppression agent. That's safer for humans and the environment, without the water damage caused by sprinklers. To demonstrate the difference, we've replicated a data center in this fire testing facility. Typically, a data center fire would start inside one of these server cabinets. This type of enclosed fire is tough to extinguish using sprinklers alone, but it's an ideal situation for clean agent fire suppression systems. The room is equipped with KITA air sampling and spot smoke sensors, plus the clean agent fire suppression system and 9 water sprinklers. When everything is ready, the clean agent test is run first. Engineers ignite sheets of ABS plastic in an empty server cabinet. The air sampling and spot smoke sensors alert the system. And then, discharge. The Novec 1230 suppression agent floods the room and penetrates the burning enclosure where it extinguishes the fire in less than 20 seconds. The water sprinkler test begins the same way, but nearly 4 minutes elapse before the first sprinkler head discharges. 7 minutes later, the fire is still burning. 15 minutes after ignition, a firefighter enters the test chamber and puts out the fire with a portable fire CO2 fire extinguisher. The sprinklers did their job preventing the fire from involving the entire room. But the server equipment, walls, and ceiling are all water damaged. The results of the KITA clean agent system test are dramatically different. Even though the cabinet temperature reached 230 degrees Fahrenheit before the agent discharged, the room and servers show virtually no sign of damage. From the perspective of IT operations and data security, it's as if the fire in the data center never happened.
Bueno, eso es con un tipo de mezcla, Kilo Fire Systems.
In this demonstration, we see how the test room fills with gas, lowering the oxygen content to safely and quickly extinguish the fire, and venting the overpressure. There is no impact on electrical equipment or personnel. This safe and controlled process is made possible by Fike's unique pro-inert valve, which reduces the pressure in the cylinder from 300 or 200 bar to just 42 bar. This means you need lower capital outlay, smaller bore pipework, lower installation. We've seen how inert gas knocks down a fire early, with no interruption to operations. Water mist systems need larger fires to be effective. They interrupt or damage operations and can need extensive cleanup.
I struggle with the
Okay. Equipment, electrical equipment, deep fat fryers. So only wet chemical agent is recommended. So as for the first one, water, do not use on liquid or electric fires. Foam, not suited to domestic use. Dry powder can be used safely up to 1000 volts. CO2, safe on both high and low voltage, and wet chemical used on extremely high temperatures. And we have also the colors for this, okay, for the extinguishers. Okay, we are going to have 15 minutes of break. Okay, let's have 15 minutes of break. I also need the break too. So, all right, don't worry. Tengamos 15 minutos and let's continue then.
Proceeding to identify the source of the fire. For maneuvering, second generator, start main fire pump and send electrician to isolate the power in all potion store and paint store area. From electrical power failure here in forward for Castle Boson store. Understood, prepare two firemen to enter the area. Support squad bridge. Yes, first this is fine. Prepare boundary cooling in all the ways of the potion store. From main store inside, from outside potion store in front, and from the top mooring forecastle area, boundary cooling. Also, close all ventilation to the area there. All ventilation Engine squad, bridge. Repeat your message. Engine squad, bridge. Message received. Thank you.
Same, this is emergency squad. Motion store, ventilation closed.
Motion store ventilation closed. Close ventilation also in the painter. Watch area there. In case the fire spreads in painter.
Copy, already closed.
Message received. Thank you. Let me know when to firemen are ready.
Copy, I will let you know. You're ready. All guys ready for rebound to recalling. And waiting for
Fire pump only simulation. Make them for boundary cooling. Open the valves. Simulation only for you. Also for you. And make boundary cooling. The fire pump will not start.
Now we have stopped the boundary cooling here in front. And the both store, I mean, and one guy inside the bench.
Okay, thank you. Incident.
Copy that, sir. Tracer and Christian Gate is standing by. Green steam. Number 1. Perman outfit with BA. 300 bars, about 30 minutes. Second firefighter with 300 bars, about 30 minutes also, 30 minutes.
Emergency squad, bridge, message received.
Bridge team, this is emergency squad. 2 Permans are ready to combat the fire.
2 firemen ready, message received. Thank you. Proceed. Emergency squad, bridge, message received. Join forward.
Tikit, dito ka sa tikit, sa side, sa left side. Fire 25% increasing.
25% increasing.
Bridge team, now fire 50% increasing. 50% increasing. Bridge team, fire under control. Fire under control. We found out 1 injured person in the manhole. 1 injured person in the manhole.
Six. Support squad, breathe.
Please, this is support squad. Go ahead.
Fire is under control. Proceed with the stretcher inside.
All right, so that was a fire drill, or a firefighting drill for a cruise ship. Okay. The training for that is really, really important. And each week, the drills are going to be conducted each week. So let's continue with this for the some of off topic of the. This is a ship detective, shipdetective.com. We have some ships here and the index and news and so, but they have passenger ship fires since 1979. So we have some fires for the prefix motor vessel, motor ship, royal mail ship, fishing vessel, research vessel, steamship, and sailing vessel. Okay. So some years here for the fires that were in the past, okay, and some recent 2014. That's like these are the latest one: Westerdam, Oceania, Insignia, Carnival Triumph, Carnival Trump, Grandeur of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, Azamara Quest, Costa Alegra, Romanica, and then. So let's take a look at the latest one. The latest one, Norman Atlantic. A fire broke out on the car deck of the Norman Atlantic. Car deck. What's the car deck? Let's take a look at the car deck. Okay. For the ship. The cargo, okay? Cargo deck. So that's for this part of the area of the boat, car deck. Let's have a look at the parts of the cruise ship. A map. So inside the cruise ship, we had many areas. Let's take a look at those parts. Okay. Well, it's not too clear for this Arcadia, but we have in colors the bars and lounges, that's in purple. In purple. The stories, these are the decks and the stories, los pisos. Entertainment, we have in yellow, entertainment. In blue, we have health, okay, and the pool, shops for brown, shops, some shops, and services on pink. Services on pink. And it looks like it has Wi-Fi all over the ship. Okay. Okay, so in detail, we have here a plan of all of a ship. This is the ship. Rotterdam deck plan. Rotterdam deck plan. It has the capacity for 2,000, okay, 2,668 passengers with upper beds. Okay, we have also the current position. We have the main deck, the plaza deck, the promenade deck, Beethoven deck, Gershwin deck, the Mozart deck, the Schubert deck, navigation deck, Lido deck, panorama deck, sun deck, observation deck, and sky deck, not shown. So stateroom categories, we have all the colors also. The colors, okay, for the rooms, the inside, outside, balcony, for example, balcony comfort, V8. Okay, and then we have all the plans, observation deck. We have also a cafe, a sun deck, panorama deck, Lido deck, a fitness center, a greenhouse, spa and salon. We have on the sun deck, we have a sport court. On the panorama deck, we have the New York Deli and Pizza, panorama bar, and the kids club. On the Lido deck, we have the Lido bar, some gelato, dive in, the Lido market. For the navigation deck, we have the bridge. This is the control panel, okay, of the main ship. Discover deck, Mozart deck, Gershwin deck, okay, with all these are the cabins, Beethoven deck, the promenade deck, We have a world stage, for magic shows and so. The casino, big thing. A big thing in the cruises is the casino, where people is going to spend a lot of money, okay, or win a lot of money, but usually not too many people is going to win. We have the art gallery, some shops, okay, some guest services, the Grand Dutch Cafe, the dining room. Look at the dining room, it's quite big for the dining room. 2 stories of dining room. The Club Orange, Ocean Bar, Rudy's Salle de Mer, Pinnacle Grill, the Atrium, some other shops, the Lincoln Center stage, the Billboard on board, Microsoft Studio. All right, so I don't know if we can find a video for this. Rotterdam. Cruise ship, Rotterdam cruise ship. This is the Rotterdam, Holland.
Cruising is back, and 2022 will offer cruisers a spectacular array of niches cruise ship, the world's tallest cruise ship, and several other vessels with stunning new features and incredible ultra-luxury outdoor spaces. And almost every large cruise line, including Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, MSC, Disney, Celebrity, Princess, Cunard, and many more, will launch a new. Let's get straight into it and look at the top 5 best new cruise ships setting sail in 2020, known as Project Leonardo. And oh boy, we are in for a treat here. This is Norwegian's very first new class of ships in over 7 years. It focuses heavily on expanding outdoor venues and includes an infinity pool on the aft and 2 infinity beaches on either side of the ship, providing additional spots for a refreshing dip on board. The extended promenade, called Ocean Boulevard, will feature numerous outdoor lounges, restaurants and bars, bringing you even closer to the sea. The interior will get a luxurious finish with many yet to be announced venues. We do know, however, that the ship will feature Norwegian's newest dining venue, the Indulge Food Hall, which combines 10 different restaurants and cuisines into one food court, allowing you to sample tastes from across the world for lunch and dinner. Another exciting change on board are the ship's most spacious staterooms, which will be almost 10% larger than comparable rooms on existing ships, a feature many cruisers will highly appreciate. Overall, the Norwegian Prima is a very exciting ship we definitely look forward to next year. Next up, in number 4, we have the Disney Wish. The Wish will be Disney's 5th ship and the first new one in nearly 10 years, making it one of the most anticipated ships of 2022. Apart from Disney's traditional elegant black and yellow finish, everything on board has been modernized and improved. The whole ship is split into 3 neighborhoods, one for children only, one for adults only, and one for the whole family, ensuring that regardless if you have young children or if you are a child at heart, the Disney Wish will have something for you. On the Lido deck, amongst 6 pools and several water slides, you will find the Aqua Mouse, Disney's first attraction at sea. The 760 feet long slide will offer an immersive show with many special effects, sure to make a splash for cruisers of all ages. The Wish also comes with a large variety of dining experiences, from adults-only restaurants to an engaging theatrical dinner show to a Star Wars themed bar. The ship will be full of magical surprises. And of course, in true Disney fashion, the ship will be jam-packed with fun activities for kids. The Wish continues Disney Cruise Line's legacy and ensures that a cruise line remains second to none for families with young children. In third place, we have the MSC World Europa. Now this is a true giant of a ship, coming in at 205,000 gross tons, making it one of the largest cruise ship classes ever built, second to only Royal Caribbean's Oasis class ships. But also, at 22 decks, it will be almost 4 decks taller than the Oasis class, making it the tallest cruise ship that is not a sailboat. Now if you know the Oasis class, you will see some striking similarities in the design of the Europa. The ship will come with its own boardwalk called the Europa Promenade. Half of it will be open air like on Oasis class ships, while the other half will be covered by a massive LED screen. It will also offer an 11-story slide which will be the longest at sea, allowing you to go from Lido deck pools to boardwalk entertainment in mere seconds. The Europa will host 6 outdoor pools, dozens of hot tubs, a water park, and a fully adults-only neighborhood with its own pool, restaurant, and lounges. Confident we'll hear about stunning additions and surprises soon. The ship will debut in November 2022 to provide accommodations for fans attending the 2022 before continuing its cruising season in Europe and the Caribbean. Next up, in number 2, we have Celebrity Cruises' Celebrity Beyond. The Beyond builds on its sister ships, the Celebrity Edge and Celebrity Apex, and somehow even improves beyond them. As you can see, the outdoor spaces have been fully reimagined, providing a variety of different themes and atmospheres around every corner, while always keeping Celebrity's ultra-luxury feel. The Celebrity Beyond will keep its rooftop garden for evening music entertainment, but it has also added 2 stunning infinity pools just next door, providing even more spaces to take a quick dip in. Celebrity's Edge class of ships, which will include the Beyond, is in my opinion the single best designed cruise ship class to date. It feels like every single space on board has been reimagined and perfected, and countless cruisers who have been on the Edge keep confirming that feeling. Apart from being incredibly well designed, the Beyond also comes with its fair share of unique features. The Magic Carpet is a bar which hangs on the side of the ship and can move between floors, even functioning as a tender station if needed. The Eden Bar is a 3-story aft lounge which is similar to 270 on Royal Caribbean's Quantum class ships. During the day it will be used as a relaxing meeting point with stunning sea views, while at night it will completely transform into an immersive and bustling entertainment venue. Lastly, the Celebrity Beyond will also come with so-called infinite verandas, which means that with a touch of a button, you can remove the walls separating your balcony and the rest of your room, essentially turning your entire living space into your veranda. But by closing your veranda window, you can also turn your balcony into an indoor living space, which increases its size by nearly 25%. Overall, the Celebrity Beyond is an outstanding ship, and if you get a chance to sail on it, I could only recommend it. Before moving on to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. We have the Carnival Celebration, which will be the sister ship to the Mardi Gras, Carnival's most ambitious and innovative cruise ship to date. Cunard will also launch its 4th, still unnamed ship, which will be the largest in its fleet. Virgin Voyages, which is still waiting to start sailing on its first 2 ships, whose inaugural seasons have been delayed due to the pandemic, plans to launch a Resilient Lady, its 3rd adults-only ship. And now, in number 1, the best new cruise ship setting sail in 2022, Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. At 1,188 feet or 362 meters, the Wonder of the Seas will not only become the world's largest, but also widest, longest, heaviest and most expensive cruise ship ever built, and improves upon arguably the most successful and popular cruise ship class ever, Royal Caribbean's Oasis class. With that introduction, you know this $1.4 billion ship is going to be stunning. The Wonder of the Seas will be divided into 8 distinct neighborhoods, including a Royal Caribbean First Suite neighborhood, with its own private sundeck, lounge, restaurant and more, similar to Norwegian's Haven and MSC's Yacht Club. The ship will be jam-packed with activities for cruisers including, now brace yourself, a Florida surfing simulator, 2 rock climbing walls, a 10-story high zipline over the boardwalk, an ice skating rink with evening entertainment, 5 large pools including a water park and a beach pool, water slides and a 10-story dry slide connecting the leader deck and the boardwalk, an outdoor aqua theater with diving shows with a brand new look and design, a bionic bar with robotic bartenders, a large promenade and shopping center, a central park with 20,000 real plants in the middle of the ship, an 18-hole mini golf course, an elevator bar, laser tag, escape rooms, and just so much more. The ship will also feature 14 complimentary dining options and 28 specialty dining venues, many of which will be exclusively on the Wonder of the Seas. If you manage to get a booking aboard the Wonder of the Seas, which will set sail in March, I promise you, you will not have a single boring minute on board. There you have it. 2022 will hold many spectacular new ships. Which of these ships are you most looking forward to? Leave a comment down below to let us know. If you haven't subscribed yet and want to stay informed with cruise, that subscribe button. And if you have some spare time, feel free to. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep cruising.
Thanks for watching the S1 Play.
Okay, so let's have some pronunciation for this. Let me put all the words together. All right. Parts of a ship. Parts of a ship. Starboard side. The right side of the ship. The right side of the ship. Deck. Deck is a permanent covering over a compartment or a hull. Let me just put this right in there. If I want a clearer picture. Okay. So the starboard side, the right side of the ship. Deck. A deck is a permanent covering over a compartment or a hull of a ship. On a boat or ship, the primary or upper deck is the horizontal structure that forms the roof of the hull, thereby holding the hull together, strengthening it and serving as the primary working surface. The bow, a forward part of the hull of a ship or boat, must be tall enough to avoid easy contact, and it must be designed to produce the least drag. Bow. Okay. FWD, the front side. FWD, the front side. Bulbous bow. A bulbous bow is a protruding bulb at the bow or front of a ship just below the waterline. The bulb modifies the way the water flows around the hull, reducing drag and thus increasing speed, range, fuel efficiency, and stability. This is the bulbous bow. Okay, anchor. The anchor. The anchor is made of a metal and attached to the ship by heavy chains. An anchor is used to keep the ship in place while waiting to dock. The keel. Keel, also called the backbone of a ship, is a reinforced metal plate that helps hold the ship's structure together. The keel also determines the depth of water that the ship can safely operate in and allows it to steer in one direction without spinning around. The keel also acts as a way to prevent the ship from capsizing or rolling. The port side, the left side of the ship. We have starboard side, right side of the ship, port side, the left side of the ship. Hull. Hull. A hull is a part of a ship that extends below the waterline to cover and protect water from entering in. Everything that is stored within the main ship's structure is covered and protected by the ship's hull. Hull. And the propeller, I'm going to get back to the propeller because I can't read everything there. Okay, the propeller and rudder. The propellers help ships to propel, move forward. These propellers are similar to an airplane's propeller, except that the fluid here is water and there is air. A ship's propeller can have different levels of pitch and anywhere from 3 to 6 blades. The ship's rudder allows the ship to steer itself to the left and right when in operation. A rudder must be able to move 35 degrees to port side and starboard side to function safely. That's for the propeller and rudder. Propeller and let's check the
rudder.
Rudder. Okay, rudder. The pronunciation for that. Rudder. Okay, let me get back here. Oh, the stern is the closest. Okay, the stern is the back or AFT most part of a ship or boat, the rear side. The stern. Okay, stern. Popa, popa, stern. Then we have the AFT and popa. Then we have FDW, FWD, I'm sorry, FWD. I think I'm not getting this. FWD, the front side, okay. Popa for the stern, AFT also stern, the deck, la cubierta, deck, starboard side, estribor, estribor, starboard side, and we have port side, babor. Okay, port side is at the left side, and the starboard side is at the right. Then we have the bow, ship bow, proa,
Ship bow.
Proa del barco, de la nave, ship bow. And we have the bulbous bow.
Bulbous bow.
Well, that's not going to be a good translation, but it's this part here. Okay, this part here. It's a protruding bulb. Well, that's not going to work with this. Now let's take a look at the Spanish. Muy pequeño. Algunos ponen pero sus partes. Bulbo de proa sería bulbous bow. And also we have the propeller, hélice, the propeller. Right, and the anchor, and the anchor. All right, so that's all for this day. Let's continue tomorrow, and we keep on the fire prevention and firefighting for the other part of the class. Okay, so have a great day and see you tomorrow.